Today we are going to discuss another two types of charts. First one is called line chart. Line chart. Second one is called scatter plot. Okay, first let's have a look at the line chart. Observations measured at the same point in time are called cross-sectional data. Observations measured at successive points in time are called time series data. Time series data graphed on a line chart, which plots the value of the variable on the vertical axis against the time periods on the horizontal axis. I'll show you an example. Okay, below is an example that records the monthly average retail price of gasoline in cents per gallon since January 1976. As you can see here, the horizontal line in this graph represents different months, starting from the very first month to 433 or something. And along the vertical line is the average price of gas. And then this graph shows the trend of the change of average price of gas versus different months, right? So line chart is always used for illustrating time series data. Okay, another example of line chart is here. Again, the horizontal axis represents months. Vertical axis represents adjusted price of gas. So line charts can illustrate the trend of change of a variable as time proceeds. Understand? If you want to illustrate the trend of change of a variable as time proceeds, you can consider using a line chart. Okay, I'll show you how to do this in Google Sheets. Okay, let's open Google Sheets from our web browser. Okay, first of all, let's input some sample data. Okay, for example, we can use different temperature against different time. Okay. Unit of time is hours. First, we'll find some real data. Okay. We have 24 hours. And let's input some temperature here. For example, 1 o'clock, we can have 0. 1, 0, minus 3, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, 11, 12, 16, 15, 15, 14, 10, 5, 5, 6, 0. Okay. If you want to show the trend of change of the average temperature along the time, as we said, you can consider using line charts. Click, select these 2 columns, and then click Insert Chart. Normally, it will automatically select a type of chart for you. This is not what we want, right? We want line chart. So we can change the chart here. And again, something's not wrong, something's not right here. We need to change the x-axis to time. And series is average temperature. Now this graph looks right? Looks correct. Should be average temperature versus time. Right? Okay, average temperature, time. And as you can see from the graph, the average temperature is going up until 15 hours and then going down. Okay. If you want to customize this diagram, you can click Customize and finer tune this diagram according to your needs. All right. So basically speaking, if you want to show the trend of one variable against another variable, which is oftentimes time, you can consider using the time series data. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, I'll give you 5 minutes to try to play this data and this diagram. Okay. You should be able to read and draw this diagram, whether manually or with the help of a computer. Okay. I'll give you 5 minutes to do this. Okay. Can you draw the line chart now? Okay, any questions about line chart? All right, if you have no questions about the line chart, we all have to proceed now. Okay, next diagram today we're going to learn is called scatter plot. Okay, scatter plot can illustrate the relationship between two variables. The independent variable is labeled x and is usually placed on the horizontal axis, while the other dependent variable y is mapped to the vertical axis. Okay, I'll use an example to illustrate how we can draw the scatter plot. Okay, the example is that suppose we want to study the following question. A real estate agent wanted to know to what extent the selling price of a home is related to its size. To acquire this information, he took a sample of 12 homes that had recently sold, recording the price in thousands of dollars and the size in square feet. These data are listed in the company table. Use a graphical technique to describe the relationship between size and price. The sampling result is shown at the right. Okay. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 pairs of data, right? For a given size, there is a price. If we want to study the relationship between these two variables, we can use scatter plot as shown in this diagram. The x-axis is the size, the y-axis is the price. And for each pair of data, it corresponds to a point on these Cartesian coordinates, right? So when we plot all the dots on the graph, we can see that there is a positive linear relationship between these two variables, which can be approximately represented by this line, right? Okay, again, I'll show you how to do this using a computer. Okay, again, open Google Sheets. And first of all, we need to input these two columns. First column is called size. A unit is square feet. Second column is price. Price. Unit is $8. And then we need to input all the data into these two columns. This time, select all the 2 columns and choose Insert Chart. Okay, change the chart type to Scatter Plot. And then you can see the scatter plot is shown in this diagram. And if you want to change anything, again, click Customize. And then you can fine tune this diagram. Okay. Chart type, series, data labels. Okay, any questions? Okay, again, I'll leave you 10 minutes for you to play this diagram by yourself. You must be able to read and draw this diagram, okay? Okay, any questions about the scatter plot? Can you do this diagram by yourself? All right, if you have no questions, let's proceed to the next slide. Okay, sometimes when you draw the scatter plot, you can see that sometimes they have positive linear relationship, as you can see from the very top left diagram. This is called positive linear relationship. If one variable increases as the other one increases. Okay, the second diagram shows possible negative linear relationship, which is that one variable decreases as the other variable increases. Okay, and sometimes you can see this pattern. There is no apparent positive or linear relationship. One variable can decrease or increase as the other variable increase. This is called weak or nonlinear relationship. Okay, in the second half of Unit 3, we'll learn numerical descriptive techniques, which can be used to measure the correlation of the two variables. Actually, there is a parameter or statistics called correlation coefficient, which measures the relationship between two variables. Correlation coefficient close to 1 means a linear relationship between the two variables is strong. We'll discuss this later in our second half of Unit 3. So don't worry about this. Don't worry about this now. The only thing you need to remember that is how to describe these three patterns, okay? First one is called positive linear relationship. Second one is called negative linear relationship. And if there is no apparent linear relationship, we call it weak or nonlinear relationship. All right? Any questions? Okay, for example, if we plot the price of gas and the price of oil into a scatter plot, we find that the scatter diagram reveals that the two prices are strongly related linearly. When the price of oil was below 60, the relationship between the two was stronger than when the price of oil exceeded $60. Okay, this is an example of the application of the scatter plot, which can show the trend of one variable as the other proceeds. Okay. Any questions? Okay. If you have no question, we'll make a quick review of the first half of Unit 3. So what have we learned so far in Unit 3? Okay, that's right here. Unit 3, first half, quick review. Okay, first of all, we learn some basic concepts in statistics, right? you should be able to tell the types of statistics, common types of statistics, which are descriptive and inferential. What is descriptive techniques? What is descriptive statistics? What is inferential statistics? You should be able to tell the differences. And next, you should tell the difference of population and sample. What is a population and what is a sample in statistics? And the measurement used to describe the population is called parameter. And the measurement used to describe the characteristics of the sample is called statistics. And sample is actually a subset that is drawn from the population in order to study the population, right? Okay. And there are two common types of descriptive techniques. In descriptive techniques, there are two types, which are graphical and numerical. Right? And another trivial concept is confidence level or significance level. You need to know the difference between this concept, confidence level and significance level. Okay? And in your next lesson, we learned that some common graphical descriptive techniques. Okay. For some common graphical descriptive techniques. Okay. You should be able to read, draw the common graphical common graphics by hand or with the help of a computer. Okay. Okay. Before we study different types of charts, first, you should be able to tell different types of data. Well, basically speaking, there are two types of data. One is called interval data, right? Or sometimes we call it quantitative data or numerical data. Okay. Second type of data is called qualitative data. Which can have two categories. One of the categories is called nominal data. Nominal data has no order. And the other type is called ordinal data. ordinal data by name has order, right? Okay. After that, we studied different types of charts. Okay, first, you should be able to read and draw the dot plot. Dot plot is used to describe the rough distribution of one-dimensional data. Next, you should be able to read and draw the stem and leaf display. And stem and leaf display is also used to describe the distribution of one-dimensional data. Okay. And the next diagram is bar chart. Again, you should be able to read and draw a bar chart. And similarly for pie chart. Again, you should be able to read and draw a pie chart by hand or is a help of the computer. All right. Okay. And after that, we have learned the most important aspects in this unit, which are histogram and Ogive diagram. Histogram. This is the most important aspects in this unit. Okay, next one is called Ogive diagram. Okay, you should be able to tell the difference between these two diagrams. Histogram describes the distribution of a one-dimensional data, and we can use frequency and relative frequency as the vertical axis. Ogive diagram displays the cumulative relative frequency of the data, right? We use cumulative relative frequency as the vertical axis. You should be able to tell the difference between these two diagrams, all right? These are the most important parts in this unit. And after that, today, we learned how to describe the relationship between two variables, which we can use line chart or scatter plot. Right? Scatter plot is also very important in this unit. Okay. These are what we have learned so far in first half of Unit 3. Okay, any questions?